Right, kids, here's number 3. So we're going to take the derivative term by term. So the derivative of a constant term is just 0. The derivative of this term is 20x, but then we need to multiply by whatever the derivative of x is with respect to x. So we multiply by dx dx. And then we take the derivative of the next term, so that is going to be minus 12y squared. But again, it's the chain rule, so we multiply by the derivative of the y variable with respect to the x variable. Now this turns out to be 1. And so we can move this thing over to the other side because we're trying to get this part by itself. So this becomes negative 20x equals negative 12y squared dy dx. That's the derivative of y with respect to x. And now we're going to divide by the negative 12y squared. So negative 20x over negative 12y squared equals dy dx. Now we can simplify this because like the fraction part, the negative 20 over negative 12, I could divide both the numerator and denominator by 4 or by negative 4. So the numerator is now 5x and the denominator is now 3y squared. So this would be a better answer for that. Now let's try number 4. So here's number 4. Again, we're going to do the same thing we just did. So we're going to take the derivative of each term. So 0 equals 30x squared times dx over dx plus 20y dy dx. This reduces to 1, and we can move this term over to the other side. So this becomes negative 30x squared equals 20y dy dx, excuse me. So this is negative 30x squared over 20y, which reduces to negative 3x squared over 2y, and that is my dy dx. So let's go to number 5. So number 5, it's similar. You can start just like this if you want to. Sometimes it might be easier to get everything to one side first, but we'll just take the derivative term by term as we start. So this is going to be 4x dx dx on the left side equals, that's going to be 12y dy dx on the right plus 0 for the 9. This term, that dx dx, reduces to 1. So I'm left with just 4x on the left side and 12y dy dx on the right. I can divide both sides by 12y. The 4 and the 12 can reduce, so that's going to leave me an x in the numerator and a 3y in the denominator, and that is my dy dx. Let's do number 6. So we're going to take the derivative term by term. This is going to be 10x to the 4th dx dx minus 16y dy dx, and that's going to be equal to 0. This reduces to 1, so I'm left with 10x to the 4th minus 16y dy dx equals to 0. I'm going to move this to the other side. So that is negative 16y dy dx equals negative 10x to the 4th. And then I'm going to divide by negative 16y. So dy dx equals negative 10x to the fourth over negative 16y, that's a 0. I can reduce the numerical part of this answer. So I can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2. So that leaves me actually by negative 2. That leaves me a 5y to the fourth in the numerator and an 8y in the denominator. So that is my final answer there. So those are questions of 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I will work on the video for the other 4 problems on the other side of this next.